What's up, everybody? The episode you're about to listen to is actually an episode we recorded before BlizzCon happened. And why that's relevant is because we're going to talk about our speculations around Diablo 2 and our thoughts and really dive into it. So, there are some things in here, and the reason why we're still releasing this episode is because there is still some good content here to really take back, because this really maps out some of the sort of known information that I had received at some point in 2020 and really didn't believe a lot of the stuff I was getting. And we really kind of go into, corroborating the information I got while understanding kind of the information that we recently got with this announcement at BlizzCon. So enjoy the episode. We are actually recording right now sort of the reaction episode around BlizzCon and some more fun stuff. So more to come, but wanted to make sure that I teed this up because it is kind of old information, but still good information at that. So thank you. Enjoy the episode. Welcome, everyone, and we are the Uneducated Gamers podcast presented by GalaxyGameTV.com. In today's episode, we will discuss Blizzard Games' Diablo 2 remake confirmed, discuss our personal top 3 game franchises of all time, and our most uneducated thoughts. Joe, welcome in. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, my friend.
Doing okay, man. How are you?
I am doing great. After a rough week, right here sitting talking to you about things that we love, and that's video games.
And sipping a beer. That's
Hell
always
yeah.
nice, too.
Hells yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be a podcast without a beer.
Yeah, you got to be thoroughly drunk before you can talk about stuff like this.
Well,
not thoroughly drunk, buzzed.
yeah, slightly inebriated.
Let's just loosen the jaw a little bit, like a snake, going over the topics of the day.
And yeah, I mean, this first topic is a big one, so let's get right into it, because there is a lot to talk about here.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
And that's one of the biggest news is we've heard this year in video gaming industry, I guess. And that's Blizzard brings in Vicarious Visions to work on Diablo 2 Remake. This was the headlines that we saw.
Very excited.
Polygon wrote an article, IGN wrote an article, Bloomberg. Like, this is all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of ironic stuff here that we need to discuss and unpack. First, for the audience's benefit, if you don't know who Vicarious Visions is, they basically have been working under Activision for some time.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like 30 years, I think.
Yeah, for a very long time. Now, they have worked with Blizzard in certain capacities as a support development group, based on what I understand, but never really were directly under the Blizzard umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're third party.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, they're supposedly working on Diablo 2 remake, not remaster. Let's distinguish there. It's supposedly a remake. And so Vicarious Visions recently did the most recent Tony Hawk remake 1 and 2,
which was apparently like perfect.
Oh, that game is flawless.
There was not a person that I've heard talk shit about that game. Like that's got to be ridiculous.
That game is flawless. So I've played Tony Hawk since the first Pro Skater.
Mm-hmm.
And I played the first Pro Skater game recently and was like, wow, well, how did I ever thought this was an amazing game? But
it was like going back to play GoldenEye, where you're just like, I'm gonna be James Bond. Holy shit, this is terrible.
Yeah. but I mean, I've spent me and my buddies, and would spend so much time playing Pro Skater 1. And by far, it was, I mean, at that time, first off, it was revolutionary,
Yeah, nobody's done something like that before.
Yeah. And Neversoft, did an amazing job at creating the first 2 Pro Skater games. Like, those games were absolutely amazing. And so for Vicarious Visions to come out with the remake 1 and 2, I was amped, and it delivered exactly the way it should have.
Mm-hmm. My experience with skating games has been like, do you remember Skate or Die for the NES?
Mm-hmm.
I still have never gotten past like the intro screen of that because like I can't figure it out, even though there's 2 buttons. It's like trying to land on the aircraft carrier in Top Gun, where it's just like up, I'm pressing up. No, you're going down. And that's like the exact same experience I had in Skate or Die. And then I think it kind of scarred me for life because like I just never looked at skating again, ever.
Well, it definitely died for you.
It died for me. Yeah, it did. Ba-doom-cha.
But not just that, but they were also responsible for Pro Skater 2 when it came to GBA, Game Boy Advance, Tony Hawk Underground, also Star Wars, the Jedi Knight series. They were responsible for those.
Wait, in what way?
They were one of the development studios in those games.
What? I thought that was Raven.
Well, in conjunction with them, like,
no shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Doom 3. They also worked on Doom 3. When I think it was for Doom 3 for the Xbox, I believe. Keep in mind, Vicarious Visions spent a lot of time porting PC games to consoles.
Right, yeah.
So
that's harder than it looks, apparently.
Yeah. And so that's how, like, so when I say Jedi Knight, the Jedi Knight series, not the PC version.
Okay, all right. So like the series version. Like the version that just came out on the Switch too for Jedi Outcast.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And the Xbox 360 back in when that came out.
The Nintendo Switch. Play 10-year-old games today.
It's good stuff. But a few others too. They're responsible for X-Men Legends 2, Rise of the Apocalypse, which was an amazing freaking game. If you've never played it, came out of the game
that was like RT, like kind of like RPG-ish.
Yep. Yeah. It was like again, I think it's the isometric. Is that what they call it? Isometric.
Yes, that's the word we were looking for last week. Is isometric.
Yeah, I didn't have. I haven't had enough beers yet, so my memory is not failing me at the moment.
Give it time.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 and Guitar Hero. So, like,
I fucking love Guitar Hero.
Their lineage of games, and not always they're not always the producing developer, but they work on the games, they work on ports, they work on a lot of this stuff. So it makes actually a lot of sense. And a lot of logistically, it makes a ton of sense to see them, and exciting to see them work, or hear that they're working on the Diablo 2 remake.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and it's really encouraging, especially after Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Yeah,
which I don't know how much we need to talk about that, because what else is there to say besides it's a shit show, overpromised, underdelivered, completely ruined the old standing of the game, and made you can't even play the old version of Warcraft 3 anymore.
Which is
stupid. Unless you already had it downloaded and separate from Battle.net somehow. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think we have to unpack Reforged, but
for another that's like a full episode. That's unpacking Reforged.
That's a rant video.
You want to do it?
Or that's a rant episode. But here's some things that I want to talk about this Blizzard Vicarious thing, because this is something that I'll kind of just talk about, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Sure.
But back in November, one of my inside gaming sources that I know, basically was like, you got to check this out. I'm working on a friend of mine's working on the Diablo 2 remake, and I'm like, get the hell out of here. And
Yeah, I
so
didn't
like,
believe you at the time. I really didn't.
and I was like, no. He was like, no, seriously. I was like, well, then take a picture of it. He's like, he doesn't want me to. He doesn't want me to take a picture because he doesn't want to get in trouble. I said, fine. I don't know. Then I don't believe you. He's like, look, how about if I FaceTime and show you what he's working on? I'm like, okay. And
Some
so,
covert CIA shit right here.
well, because this was again something that they did not want to announce, and there was
Sure.
only a small team. Apparently, there was only a small team of people that were working on it in the moment because Team One, which is, and I'll explain Team One in a second because this actually makes a lot of sense now. Team One was working on Warcraft 3 Reforged, and
Yeah.
Team One was supposed to be the one working on the Diablo remake, but they had brought in some people, and it wasn't actually. They didn't actually tell me that these were people that were from Vicarious Visions, but what basically was told to me was there was people that were being brought in from the outside to start the project, to start porting a lot of the quests over to the Diablo 3 engine.
How many quests were there in Diablo 2?
I'm not sure.
There's
I
like
know,
10.
I think I think so. I don't remember, to be honest. It's been a while since I've gone through that whole game.
Don't let me derail you.
No, but so this was interesting to me at the time, but then at the same time, and then I was told, you guys are going to hear about it in the next announcement, and then it didn't come. And
Yeah.
so it was like, all right, well, maybe he was just playing a joke on me. But
That's a pretty
then,
elaborate joke, dude.
right, I know. And so basically, this is the report now, and you'll read this in these different articles. You go to IGN, Polygon, everybody's stories are and their sources are quite corroborated, right?
Yeah.
Is that Vicarious Visions came in the middle of 2020, somewhere around August. Okay. So with that said, that makes a hell of a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And rewinding the information that I got back then completely makes sense to me now.
Yeah, because that was really, oh God, announcing Diablo games is apparently like walking through landmines these days. Because like they were just coming off of the fallout of Diablo Immortal being announced, which God, that was announced like what, 2 years ago now? Almost three, right?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, it's 20.
But
I believe it's 2018 when they
you,
announced it.
they announced it. The game was announced in late 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Of course, I'm right.
Hey now.
I remember it because it was seared in my memory because I was so excited that day to hear about Diablo 4 because like it looked like legitimately like they were going to announce like everything was like revolving around that. And I was just like, okay, if they don't do Diablo 4, it's going to be Diablo 2 remake. And either way, I'm going to be happy because there just hasn't been enough of that in my life. And then they just dumped that shit on us. And oh God, I remember seeing that live and just everybody just melted down on it. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though, right? Let's talk about the timing of some of this stuff. And Warcraft 3 Reforged and Team 1 is really like the primary development team at Blizzard that hits basically the major games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the major releases.
Was Team One responsible for Heroes of the Storm?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And StarCraft then too. StarCraft 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So Team One was a big deal.
Yes. And Team 1 recently got canceled. Basically, is what happened.
So, yeah, they got folded in.
Because Here's the Storm and StarCraft have now all development is ended, as of October.
They're still doing Heroes of the Storm stuff.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Yeah, they are.
Nope.
They still have characters in development.
Go take a look.
I won't.
Because
I'll just take your word for it.
It has been effectively shut down. Here's the Storm was shut down in October of 2020. And then all development for StarCraft 2 is now ceased to exist.
I know StarCraft 2 stopped, which was surprising, but not surprising at the same time, because it's just like, what else are you going to do with it? Just like balance it out a little bit per season, which you don't need a whole development team for that. And I figure, StarCraft would be an easy one to balance out because so many damn people play it. It's like the standard for RTSs.
So here's another sort of tidbit to kind of extrapolate from all of this information, and that's when Mike Morhaime. Yeah. So when his departure happened in 2018, that was the exact time that Team 1 was supposedly taken off the Diablo 2 project, and Vicarious Visions came in.
Okay. I wonder why Team 1 was just taken off it in the first place. Is it like a Metroid Prime 4 type of thing where they got to a certain point and they're just like, this just isn't working,
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think about it this way. Obviously Reforged was a terrible port.
Yes.
And they struggled with it because it took them forever to complete that game. I think they worked on it for 4 years. Yeah, and it was a complete mess. And so, again, I think going back to all this, a lot of this stuff is now making a ton of sense to me of the information that I was getting mid-year last year.
Yeah.
And that I thought people were just being like funny, and they're like, trying to stir up stuff because, well, at the time Blizzard was like getting pounded. You know what I mean?
They're still getting pounded. Shadowlands has been a good success for Blizzard because they really needed it after Battle for Azeroth. But I mean, they don't really have anything else going for them right now aside from Diablo 4, because Overwatch is kind of at a point where it's just like, you got your leagues and that's about it. And there's no information about Overwatch 2 yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be continually pounded until the next game comes out, essentially, and who knows which one that's going to be. Hopefully Diablo 4, but we'll see when it comes down to it, because that's still not even ready. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. And that's a segue there, right?
Okay. Segue. You're welcome.
That segue is, do we see, is it better to think we're going to see a Diablo 2 remake first to tee up Diablo 4 release a year later, or is it the reverse?
Oh, that's a really good question, because I think the tee-up is already in place, and I think it's Diablo Immortal.
No, well, Diablo Immortal is not even got a release date yet.
Exactly. Exactly. It just went into beta like last month, I think.
Yeah, so here's another tidbit for you. So Diablo Immortal was originally the first idea for Diablo. This is what I was told anyways, was the first idea to do the Diablo 2 remake. And
really?
that was to go iOS. Yes, that was the supposedly that was the initial release of the Diablo 2 remake.
That's not a good idea.
Right.
That's just a terrible idea.
And so that's what's then ended up spawning. They were like, you know what? This is not going to work. We'll just spin this off into its own game because it's an offshoot of the Diablo 2 world.
Yeah, it is. It's I think Diablo Immortal is supposed to be like a full-on prequel to the Diablo, not the Diablo series, but I think to Diablo 3. Something like that.
Yeah, and I mean it's gonna have the same classes. It's also bringing back one of the famed characters from Diablo 2. Like it has, yeah. I mean, like it has, like if look, the game has Diablo 2 remake all written over it. Like, I was getting some of this information. I was just like, this is not right. This is they would
You liar.
they wouldn't do this. Like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean, it's stupid for us because, we're, between 35 and 45. you know, and we come from a background of like, I want my Diablo on a goddamn computer, but like we do, in retrospect, looking back at some of the decisions they made with like Diablo Immortal and stuff like that, it's just like, okay, I understand that there's a market for mobile games. There's a market that we don't understand as an American audience. While it certainly is here, like the Korean and Chinese market, it's got to be fucking ridiculous as far as mobile games are concerned.
yeah, yeah. So the Chinese company is NetEase,
Yeah,
is the one that they're partnering with, and that's to
NetEase.
bring it overseas.
Yeah, that's the one that did Warcraft 3 Reforged. That's the one that they pulled code from and they worked with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They collaborated. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't solely done by them. It was collaborative.
Yeah, it was collaborative. Did you ever see the Illidan versus Arthas cutscene in Reforged?
No.
Man. If you want to see in a microcosm like how bad that game is, watch that cutscene. I implore everybody that's listening to this to just watch that and tell me that that's better than the original somehow. I mean, it just tells you everything you need to know about Reforged. So
Yeah, but keep in mind, right? NetEase also is one of the technology backers behind World of Warcraft.
okay, can they fix their latency of their servers, please? I shouldn't walk into an Alterac Valley and just lag out because too many people pressed one. There's so much input lag that everybody's just like, and that's a real thing. Too many people pressing or too many buttons, input lag on the servers, and the servers just can't handle it. Battleground basically crashes.
Yeah,
Game's almost 20 years old.
it's strange though, because like, for instance, they also have partnered with like Mojang for like Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
They also the Heart of the Swarm. They brought that into their services as well. Hearthstone
Snips.
back in 2014. Heroes of the Storm back in 2015. Like, NetEase is they've worked a lot with Blizzard to bring a lot of their games online, globally.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them or anything like that. It's just you stain yourself
Yeah.
with an IP essentially if something goes wrong. And it's the same thing where it's just like when you're working at a company, it's just like you're only as good as what you did last month.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that's the reality of the video game industry where it only takes like one misstep and everybody's like, you're trash. CD Projekt Red.
I think they're just getting way. They're just.
I know, but I'm just saying that's like it's not hyperbole, but it's just like an example of it, where it's just like everybody's like, this is the greatest thing ever. This didn't meet all of my expectations, therefore it's trash.
So hold on, let's go back and let's reel this in.
Uh-huh.
And the question there, right, is does Diablo 2 Remake pave the way for Diablo 4 a year later?
I think so. I think it can. I think they're probably going to have. I think they're going to have their Diablo Immortal release, for basically the Asian market. American, like Western gamers will pick it up as well. But I think it's for that market in general. And then I think they're gonna try to unify everybody together with the Diablo 2 remake. And then they're gonna say like, okay, glad you're happy. We still have 2 years of development for Diablo 4. Hope this tides you over until then. Please watch for development updates. I think that's probably going to be the process because like there's been a lot of progress on Diablo 4, and it's and cautiously optimistic about it. They seem to be wanting to fix a lot of the problems that they created with Diablo 3, and they seem to be listening to people, which is something new for Blizzard, because it almost felt like they were listening to people throughout the beta of Shadowlands 2 for World of Warcraft. So this is all very strange emotion, and I'm not sure if it's real or not, So we'll just have to see what the final outcome is. But like so far, not so bad. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I think for sure Immortal and 2 are going to come out before number 4.
Yeah, I mean, there is still those speculations that we see Diablo 4 this year. I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening.
No way. No way. I mean, they would be marketing the hell out of it at this point. If it was supposed to come out this year, we would know about it at this point.
Unless they start doing what Nintendo started doing and just be like, it's
By
dropping.
The way, this game's dropping
today.
Yeah, which is kind of cool, but also kind of is weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if I like that approach or not.
Well,
it's like, it's kind of cool with the instant gratification, but at the same time too, where it's just like, there's no hype to it, which I think the problem with a lot of video games these days is like either not enough hype or just way too fucking much. And it just like gets to unrealistic proportions.
Cyberpunk. That's stewed for how many years?
Yeah, Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky. I mean,
yeah,
those are the only two that I always come back to, because the only two that just like ring in my head of just being like, this is going to be the best thing ever. And everybody was so disappointed. But it's just, temper expectations, but like somewhere in between, like we just need to get back to the day where it's just like, you know what? Zelda Ocarina of Time is coming out. I saw a couple pictures in a magazine a month ago and it looked really cool. I think I might wait in line for it to see what happens, So.
Yeah. What I think is interesting, and if it turns out to be true, that Diablo 2 Remake is built on the Diablo 3 engine with new mechanics, and Diablo 4 is being built on a brand new engine.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So it's interesting to see that, like, I don't think we've seen a company do that to where they actively are developing something on the, well, okay, never mind, Bethesda. But
yeah. Bethesda for the past 15 years.
But it's interesting if that turns out to be true.
It is interesting. Yeah.
And here's the other thing is I wouldn't be upset about it, because to be honest, Diablo 3 was quite pretty.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with it when it came out, honestly.
My problem was the fact that the freaking game mechanics were garbage.
The talent system threw me off. That really kind of made the game not feel permanent. Like I didn't feel connected to my character in any way, shape, or form like you do in Diablo 2, where you're just like, this is going to be a poison explosion necromancer. It's just like, that's a dumb spec and I have no gear for it. I'm going to have a bad time. But I have named him Gerald and we're going to have a great time until I decide somebody else is doing more damage than me and I'm going to build a new character. All right. So on the topic of old school video games, let's talk about our personal top 3 and possibly some runner-ups franchises of video game history. Like, which ones are your favorite?
All right. So my first honorable mention is the Tomb Raider series. And in large part, it's the resurgence of the kind of the new Tomb Raider games. Now,
those games are fucking good.
I used to play the old ones that had big boob Lara Croft in it.
Has her boobs changed?
Well, the new ones, she's much smaller. She's more realistic, right?
Yeah, she's still attractive.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For video game.
I prefer 5 polygon Lara Croft myself, though.
But historically, the Tomb Raider games, really kind of wrote the adventure genre from the beginning, right? It's pretty much a staple in video game history. Putting aside the polygon count back in the day, um, it was one of the very few games out there that actually had, had different puzzles and traps and adventure all in the same game.
Yeah, and it was like really one of the first, of like, it's almost Zelda-esque. Yeah, to jump into 3D.
Yeah.
Really, because it's just like, yeah, I didn't really get into them myself because I didn't really have a PlayStation when I was a kid. I had like friends that had PlayStation, so I'd watch them from a distance and be like, Lara Croft. So like I have a working knowledge of Tomb Raider, but it was never really my bread and butter.
Well, and this was the great thing about the Tomb Raider games, right? Like, so they came out on PC. And so back then I had a PC that actually could run the darn games.
What was that like? Jesus.
It was actually not terrible.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it was not terrible.
Yeah, I think I was still running like a DOS system at that point.
Well, we are slightly different in age groups, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So the other honorable mention is Uncharted, which I think again, really
Tomb Raider 2.0, right?
Yeah, it's Tomb Raider 2.0. And so that's why like Tomb Raider, I put Tomb Raider Uncharted in this bucket because really I still see them as they're not the same franchise, but literally they're the same darn game.
Yeah, just one's way more cinematic.
Yeah, agreed.
Like from the get-go. But I mean, like, you had Tomb Raider to crutch off of at that point,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my last honorable mention is one that's completely different, and that's Mario.
Still platformer. Yeah. Okay, I got you. I mean, Mario speaks for itself.
Dude, it's the first video game I ever played.
Yeah, and it might be your last.
Well, I did play the last one, so there's that.
Which one was that? Was that Odyssey?
Yes, Odyssey. Yeah, on the Switch. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I gotcha.
Super fun.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it when I was playing it. I just the Joy-Cons really I just can't use the Joy-Cons. They just kind of like they don't fit in the hand the right way. And then they break so easily.
Yeah. Well, that's why I got the wireless Switch Pro controller.
Yes, I just recently got one of those, and my gaming experience has gone up 100%.
Yeah,
like night and day difference. Joy-Cons are a good idea, not great execution. But so that's your honorable mentions.
Yep.
Okay, can I do mine?
Yeah, it's all about you, man. We'll go with you.
Okay, so honorable mention number 1. Since you're talking about franchises, that in and of itself means more than one game. So now I know there is not more than one game for this yet, but it's coming out soon, possibly this year.
Oh, so you cheated.
I didn't cheat because I know it's going to be good. And it's going to continue a line of already established excellence. Hollow Knight. Okay. So did you play this one?
So I have briefly played it, but I'll be honest, I got kind of caught up in other games.
Well, it's time to go back because this one is just like it took me a minute to get into it because I was expecting just like color and combat and just tight controls and let's just go find shit right off the bat. And then I was greeted with just like, here's a gray town, go down in a tunnel and figure out that you have to like pick up a map. And I was just like, this is weird. I did not understand the combat, and it was just getting thrown around all over the place. And I just got frustrated, put it away for like 6 months. And then my friend was talking about it. So I came back and was like, okay, I need to give this a try again. And the best Metroidvanias I've played in a long time. I mean, just solid to a T combat and just a story which I don't understand. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if maybe I wasn't picking up on it, but like I understand they're all bugs and there's a Hollow Knight. I'm not sure if I am the Hollow Knight or not. But the story is like I know this. I know how that makes me sound. Okay, but
well, the fact that you chose a game that is not necessarily a franchise yet tells you a lot.
Okay, it's gonna be though because that game was amazing, and Silk Song is coming out this year, and it looks even better. This game is just like the tightest boss combat in a Metroidvania that you'll ever find. Like it is just so solid and just like hitbox porn everywhere. It's great. Pick it up if you haven't tried it. Okay, so my second one is same genre, Ori and the Blind Forest. Which have you played that one?
I have. I played both actually,
You have.
and I've bought Ori 3 different times.
Okay, so I can. It's safe to say you enjoyed the game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
By far one of the best like platformer slash Metroidvania. I consider it both in a way.
It
But
is.
it's probably one of my favorites of today's age right now.
It's very strange because it is a Metroidvania. It's basically just search action. Okay, but like there's something about the presentation of this game and the controls of it. Like the controls are just set up in just a certain way where it's just like it's simply complicated. Where it's just like you can pull off everything and there's a whole bunch of shit on the screen, but going from point A to point B on a path that just winds around all these spikes and all these other like lanterns and shit that you need to jump over and dodge creatures and whatnot feels so good to execute the right way. It's just so fluid. My only problem with the series is it gives me the feels real bad, like right from the beginning. And like it's I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the reasons why I play it very sparsely. Because like I boot up number one and like 10 minutes into the game, I'm just sitting here. I haven't even touched the controller yet, and I'm just like wiping off tears. They have this perfect mix of like Disney sad and Disney production that is just like you can't find it anywhere else. Do you know what I mean by like Disney sad?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, all you have to do is do a speed run of it, and you won't get sad.
I can't do a speed run of it. I'm not that good at games. I still play World of Warcraft on a very basic level.
Have you seen this though? Like somebody did a 13 and 3/4 minute speed run through Ori and the Blind Forest.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. It's so solid. And it's just like, man, they get you at that point. Do you remember like Beauty and the Beast when you thought like the Beast was dying? When you were a kid, okay? Like when you're seeing it for the first time and you're just like, what? How could this happen? Or Bambi's mom dying in the forest before it fucking burns down and kills everybody. That's what this game does on a continual basis, and it's bullshit. And I hate that it manipulates me, but I love it at the same time.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Thank you. I cry a lot, everybody. It's just part of my personality. All right. So number 3, Jedi Knight series.
It's a terrible series. Why did you pick that?
Bullshit. I know you're lying. You love this shit.
Wait, this is not in your top 3?
No, well, okay. So my top 3, I went back and forth on it. Okay, I thought about it for more than an hour or two. But like I went back and forth in the top 3 a lot, and I was just like, okay, there's a lot of shit that I know, but there's also games that are empirically better than the games that I would pick that I also enjoyed. So I felt like I needed to put them in there.
Gotcha.
So yep. Jedi Knight is one of those series where it's just like, it's a great Star Wars series, but it doesn't quite mix in with everything else because there's such a drastic difference between essentially all, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Because they started off so young on DOS base and everything. It was essentially Doom at a certain point. I think the very first Dark Forces game was, because that's essentially Jedi Knight, the beginning of the Jedi Knight series. All the way through Jedi Academy, which just like gameplay has just changed vastly. It's just it's a great series, but I think that it's something that I wish, and hopefully now that EA doesn't have direct control over all Star Wars games, gets revisited. And I really hope that in The Mandalorian somehow, or in the extended universe, Kyle Katarn is added to it. But gameplay wise, this shit was ridiculous when they handed you a lightsaber for the first time in your life. You know?
Yep.
Where it's just like you had never played a game before that they handed you a lightsaber and it felt like you were using a lightsaber. You know, and then they just evolved on it and made it better and better and better. And they ended with Jedi Academy, and it was fucking wonderful, but the weakest of the games. So that's all I have to say about that, and that's why it is not in the top 3.
And keep in mind, right? Like these were also recently re-released on the Switch.
Was Academy released on Switch too?
Yep.
I know Outcast was.
Oh, yes. I'm pretty certain I bought it.
Really?
I take a look at it. I think they're both out there. Yeah.
I know for sure Outcast is, but whatever. It doesn't matter at this point. I mean, if you do have a Switch, it'd be worth it to pick up and play because it's still a good game. I mean,
Yes.
the stories.
I can confirm. Jedi Academy is on the Switch. I did buy both. I do remember buying both. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Outcast was better. That's all I gotta say. Academy was just like, it just kind of like got broken down into like way too linear and like, I don't know. The magic wasn't quite there.
Sure.
Mechanics were there, magic was not. So, but anyway, top 3 franchises. Your turn.
All right. So this is the top 3 were really, really, really hard. Well, I should say the top 2. The first one to me, and I think is if you know me, my number 1 franchise. It's undoubtedly you'll know what my number 1 is. But
okay.
we'll start with number 3.
That's vague. All right, go for it.
Number 3 is the Zelda series. Okay. And I faithfully will sit on my laurels to say that Zelda almost is a perfect franchise in my eyes.
Close to it.
It's close. It's as close as you can get to be a perfect franchise that almost all the games that were released under the Zelda umbrella are damn good.
What about the Wand of Gamelon?
Again, I said most.
That wasn't Nintendo.
Oh, it wasn't?
No. They just let somebody else just do whatever they wanted with Zelda. Like after Zelda 2?
And that's why they don't let go of that series very much. But look, all right.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But no, so here, right? A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of the Season and Ages, A Link Between the Worlds, Triforce Heroes, which was it was okay. But it wasn't horrible. It was just a different game.
It was a blemish in my eyes.
The Legend of Zelda, The Adventures of Link. And then we have the child era is Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Four Swords Adventures. Four Swords was okay. It was okay.
It was okay if you had people to play with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wind Walker, Phantom Hourglass, which I think is one of the most underrated Zelda games, is Phantom Hourglass.
That was for the DS, right?
I believe so. I think maybe the 3DS.
Yeah, either way, it was portable.
Yeah, it was the DS.
Yeah.
It was the DS. Spirit Tracks, which was another portable game. That was a DS game. Mm-hmm. I got to play that. That's actually a pretty good game.
But then we little Wind Waker, right?
Yeah, and then we go to Ocarina of Time, Four Swords. I don't think I've ever played the Minish Cap. I think that's the one I didn't play, which was GBA.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Game Boy Advance. And then Skyward Sword. Let's think about this for a second.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of and Breath of the Wild. Like, seriously, there is not a lot of bad in there at all.
Yeah, I mean, they're not all bangers, but like consistency. Even moving from game directors from Miyamoto to, I'm going to butcher this name, Enamura. Like halfway through, because he jumped in with Majora's Mask. He was one of the leading one of the heads on Ocarina of Time, and then Miyamoto kind of stepped aside and just let him have his basically his debut as a game director in
Yeah.
Majora's Mask. And personally, that's one of my favorite Zelda games. Which one's your favorite?
So, of all time, I would have to say,
What's the right answer?
I guess. Oh man, this is really hard. Probably Windwalker is my favorite from an aesthetic
That one was awesome.
and a sort of adventure feel. I think they did an amazing job there. But I could tell you, like I like recently the remake of Link's Awakening is by far one of the most outstanding remakes or ports, whatever you want to call it, into the Switch. It's outstanding. Like
I forgot that one existed, to be honest with you.
I just couldn't believe it. I could not stop playing that game.
Yeah.
And I played it before. Like that's the thing. Like I've put a lot of hours in it from the Game Boy,
Mm-hmm.
and playing Link's Awakening on the Switch it was an absolute treat. But I gotta say, my newest obsession of Zelda games, it's a hybrid Zelda game,
Yeah.
um, is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Okay. I was wondering if that was going to come into the conversation. I don't know how I feel about that game.
I I understand because basically it's a Dynasty Warriors
Yeah.
take on the Legend of Zelda IP. The first one I didn't enjoy so much. This one, it's I I I'll tell you, I was surprised and I'm amazed and I am hooked.
So what is it about it that's so fun?
So they basically took and this is why it's so good is they basically took the fabric that they created with Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
combine it with the Dynasty Warriors function and game mechanics
Kill a
while
thousand mobs at once.
yeah, but while still having the story or the feel of what you would experience in Breath of the Wild. So it's crazy. It's very interesting. Um,
Hmm.
and the game mechanics is like okay, and this is going to be a bad example, but I'm going to say it anyways. Right?
Do it.
It's like playing Zelda in a StarCraft world.
So you feel like you're an RTS, but first person, or I guess third person perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I get that. I get thrown off on games like that because
Mm.
um I like a certain aesthetic with games, and that one felt like not Zelda to me. It just the feel like it's not even the combat or anything like that. There's just something about it that I can't quite put my finger on that just doesn't feel quite right about it. And there's something about having such a rich history of it where when it's really off to me, I just won't even mess with it. You know what I
But
mean?
but here's a question though. Like, do you like Breath of the Wild?
I do and I don't.
Okay. Well, then that's probably why this game likely is a turnoff for you because this is literally a carbon copy of the visual aesthetic of Breath of the Wild
Right.
and some of the weapon mechanics borrow heavily from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I understand that. I get it. It's just I don't know. I liked parts of Breath of the Wild. I didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna get a little flack for this, but like I kind of wanted something a little bit more linear.
Mm.
Uh, I don't know. We're not talking about Hyrule Warriors at this point, but yeah, just strange. Bright points in that game, but also just kind of lost me.
And here's the other thing. What I liked about Hyrule Warriors is the Age of Calamity,
Mhm.
specifically Age of Calamity, is that
Right.
it actually is a prequel story to
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. I enjoy that.
So that tie-in,
yeah, I would just like want to play that Zelda game, that adventure where you you lose at the end, which I think is kind of cool, you know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Breath of the Wild 2, which does that actually have a full name yet?
I don't
so.
think so. I don't think I've heard anything yet specifically about it. I mean, we know it's coming, but
Yeah.
I don't believe I've heard anything about it
We'll
yet.
find out in the next Nintendo Direct, and it'll be released the next day.
Exactly.
By the way, our biggest franchise.
There it is.
Here you go, guys. No fanfare whatsoever.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Zelda.
So let's move over to your number 3 of the top 3 personal franchises of video game history.
This is gonna surprise you.
Is it though? Are you sure it's going to?
No, it's not gonna surprise you at all. StarCraft. StarCraft.
Really? RTS?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not good at it, but like I was almost good at it at some point. And then my friend caught me map hacking. But no, well, so like
wait, hold on. Before you explain, I'm curious about something real quick. You chose an RTS. Somebody who said they struggled with RTSs when they first came about, but now it's like StarCraft is like your gold standard?
Yeah, because okay, so the thing about RTSs is that I don't need to be good at them to enjoy them. That's the thing. They're a giant game of chess, and when the game really comes together in a really finely tuned way, it's amazing. Like I don't have the dexterity to take my APM up to like 500 or anything like that. It's just my brain pan doesn't work that hard.
Okay, hold on. For the slow people in the room, aka me, APM?
What? Actions per minute.
Okay.
So it's just like the higher actions per minute that you have, technically the better at reacting to fights and building your army and your base you should be. So if like something's happening in the top right hand corner, you can deal with that and also build and move units, and also macro and micro your basically macro and micro of your entire army and base. It's ridiculous. StarCraft 1 was a fantastic game. Unparalleled, and it made it made waves throughout the entire industry, and it's still played to this day competitively, especially since they remade they actually gave it the remaster a couple of years back, which is a fantastic remaster, which is why everybody was excited for Warcraft 3 Reforged, because they're like, we did it right once. But then StarCraft 2 came out, and they took all the best things about StarCraft 1, tightened them up, gave you greater control, and yeah, it's one of those games where it's like golf, where this is a really bad analogy, where it's just like I don't really like playing golf. I enjoy seeing the mastery of golf, if that makes any sense. Where it's just like, dude, that guy hit that ball so straight and so far. I wish I could do that. And that's what watching StarCraft 2 is for me, where it's just like I understand what's going on screen. Good God, I could never replicate it. I am entertained. It is the only esport that I have continually watched and has held my attention, because it's just like, it feels like it's just like, I know these names. I know what these people are going to do.
Okay, hold on. I have to ask this question.
Okay.
StarCraft 2 as a sequel to a Blizzard game, and Diablo 2 as a sequel to a Blizzard game, which sequel in your eyes is better?
That's a good question.
We'll come back. Think about it. We'll come back to it.
I'm just going to shoot from the hip here. I'm going to shoot from the hip, okay? StarCraft 2 is better.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know what? You want to know why? Is because they vastly improved the game over the prior. Whereas
Diablo 2 did as well. It's not the same game.
It's not the same game. But what I mean by that is I felt like StarCraft 2 did a really great job and did a better job at expanding the universe that it lives in beyond what Diablo 2 did for Diablo 1.
Sure, I get that to a certain point. I think that StarCraft 2's story kind of sucked, but Diablo 2's story was way fucking better.
No, but I guess what I'm saying though, okay. So saying story, what I mean by that is like StarCraft, like their classes, the different.
Oh, sure, just tightening
like
up mechanics and expanding on them.
yeah,
Okay.
the expansion of that game was I think 2x of what Diablo 2 was to Diablo 1. Now, granted, it was a different time period.
Way different time. Yeah, way different limitations.
Yeah,
and
but
plus Diablo 2, Diablo never had the same fame that StarCraft did. Like
I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah, like it really didn't. Diablo 1 was a sleeper hit, and then Diablo 2 came about and everybody just lost their shit on it. I remember, getting it early, going to Best Buy, getting it and pre-ordering and all that stuff for Diablo 2. I didn't do that with StarCraft. StarCraft just kind of like moved into my life. But I think, we're also kind of looking at this through a little bit of tarnish too.
Yeah, sure.
Because like Diablo 3 came out and it was just like it kind of really hurt the series as a whole, I think. Whereas StarCraft 2 came out and it only improved it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair. I don't know. Okay. So, number 2 for you. What is it?
Okay, so number 2 is okay. And I'm going to preface this because it's kind of a combination of franchises over the years. Huh?
Cheater.
No.
You cheater.
No. Because I consider this a franchise, but you could technically you could potentially pick a sub franchise of this franchise. And I'm just going to say it now, and that's Tom Clancy games.
Okay.
Right? So Tom Clancy games, there's just so many subgenres of Tom Clancy games. They have an RTS. Yeah. They have a first-person shooter. They have a multiplayer shooter. They have, like, it's expanded over the years. They have the Splinter Cell series. They have, I mean, you can go on and on and on and on. But really, if you really want to talk about a specific Tom Clancy series, I mean, you have to talk about the Rainbow Six series, right? Mm-hmm. Rainbow Six has been a standing series for years, and it has been basically the gold standard in tactical shooters.
Has it? What about Counter-Strike?
Well, Counter-Strike didn't come out before Tom Clancy Rainbow Six.
Yeah, I guess wait, did it?
No, it did not.
They came out at the same time, but
no.
1.6?
Are
you sure?
I don't think so. Hold on.
Are you sure? Wait, what was the very first Tom Clancy Rainbow Six?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Oh, okay. Usually we would be prepared for this.
Well, because I was pretty certain that
I wasn't going to give you shit.
or call me out.
1998.
1998.
Okay, now let's see when Counter-Strike first came out. Where are you, Counter-Strike? How do I use Google?
1999.
Okay. They were developed in tandem.
So, Rainbow Six came out, and I played it on PC.
Yeah.
And so, Rainbow Six as itself, as a franchise, has netted so many games. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah. Like, what did Tom Clancy do? You just sit on a pile of money all day? Like,
he was also he's a huge novelist for,
I know. That's what I'm saying. Well, he was a huge novelist.
Well, he was, yes.
He did.
But like, he was an espionage, military science. That's like Cold War stuff like that. That was his genre, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, think about this. He created Jack Ryan. You know what I mean? Like you've heard.
Do you remember the Hunt for Red October?
Yeah, exactly.
That's some good shit.
And so when I first sat down in front of the computer to play Rainbow Six, that game blew me the hell away. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Because this is amazing.
What is this gem of a game?
Like a tactical shooter at that time, like
it was kind of unheard of, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was literally, the start of a new genre of video game. There you had your first person shooters, like you had Doom, you had Quake, you had all these FPSs that came out that were amazing games. And then in comes Red Storm Entertainment paired with Tom Clancy to create a tactical shooter that just blows our minds away.
Yeah, I can see why that would hit you in your formative years and stick with you. I get it. I never really got into them myself. I think I played one of them back in the day. It was like I think it was maybe like the third entry into the series. So it was just like, okay.
I guess it probably was Rainbow Six Vegas, which was probably in the 2000s. I think they're at the height of Rainbow Six games was one of the best ones that they had in that time period, right?
Yeah. Weren't those games too like tell me if I'm misremembering this, but like they were ultra violent, weren't they?
Yeah, so Vegas focused on, I believe it was oh man, and I might be wrong.
Were they in Vegas?
Really?
I'm asking you a real question. Were they in Las Vegas?
Yes. Because I mean, the name of the game. Come on, man.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So this is the one. Okay. Yeah. So this is the one that really focused on terrorism, and anti-terrorism, and so basically, this was a very, very it was heavy on the gunplay, as opposed to the prior ones were more about stealth and completing missions by getting in and getting out. Like Rainbow Six, really was primarily a stealth tactical shooter.
Yeah, so kind of like along the lines of this might be a bad example, but like Deus Ex, the original one, where it was just like it was like stealth.
Yeah.
Or go kill everybody.
Yeah. So Rainbow Six, when they started doing Rainbow Six 3 back in the early 2000s, and this was like after I think Desert Storm and stuff, they really started moving towards and really so did Tom Clancy's sort of approach to stories. Really, kind of went more towards that less espionage and more tactical shooter. So yeah, it was a little bit more, I wouldn't say graphic, but it was certainly more shooting and more focused around gunplay than it was prior.
Yeah, because the one that I played, which was probably around that time, it didn't feel like stealthy or anything like that. It just felt like, okay, go into this bathroom, blow this guy's head off, and that was it. And my mom was just like, that's an awful lot of blood. And I was like, It's okay, Mom, it's fine. You let me play Mortal Kombat when I was young. It's okay.
I think what I want to do is I want to gift you Rainbow Six Rogue Spear.
Rogue Spear?
And Rogue Spear will take you back. So they made a lot of good updates to the base game of Rainbow Six and Rogue Spear. And in my opinion, during that whole era of Rainbow Six games up until the mid 2000s, that was by far the gold standard of the Rainbow Six games.
Okay.
And
all right. I'll play it. I see the cover right now. I remember that. I remember that back in the day. I remember seeing that in Walmart and being like, whatever. I got my Counter-Strike. I'm fine.
Oh, man. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to your number two in your top three.
Okay. All right, ready?
Give it to me.
Rockman.
Rockman. Oh, Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man.
It's the call in
Oh
Japan.
my goodness. Yeah, that's a. I don't think there's ever been a bad Mega Man game.
Well, that's false. There's been bad Mega Man games. Like the first one was not great, but
Well, that's
it
debatable. That's debatable. But yeah, I
it's
hear you. I hear you.
it's debatable, sure, but like it didn't really come into its own until Mega Man 2. Okay, and that's when it became like I don't know if they just flooded the market with cartridges or whatnot, but like that's when Mega Man became Mega Man. And then it just spiraled out of control until Mega Man 6. And then they cut off the series and said they're going to do Mega Man X, which is where I come in. The Mega Man X series, just fucking phenomenal. Most of them, hold on, not all of them, most of them are great. There's some later entries to the series that are just kind of like, what were you thinking? But overall, as a franchise, Mega Man still stands to this day. And this dude was created back in like 85.
7.
87. I did my research. Um, I'm just going off of what I feel like is true. And I feel like that's okay in this day and age. uh, but no, I mean, more often than not, great games. You have your great ones, you have your bad ones. They reinvented the series many times. You have your original Mega Mans. You jump into your Mega Man X series. They have their like Mega Man 8. Would Super Nintendo just kind of jump back into the original Mega Man, but updated graphic wise and gameplay wise a little bit. Jumped systems, jumped jumped main characters, and then they just released Mega Man 11. What was it, last year? Maybe year before? Just a phenomenal entry to the series, upgraded for a modern audience, fast pace, play how you like, just polished. And it's almost unbeatable. I mean, like there's a reason why it's number two, but all in all, it's Mega Man, dude. Everybody knows him.
Yeah, Mega Man 11 came out in 2018. What I actually didn't realize either is they came out with a Mega Man Zero ZX collection this past year.
Yeah, I have not gotten into the Zero collection. I do want to sit down and try that. I've watched a bunch of speed runs and it looks good.
Yeah, I can attest that I really enjoy the Mega Man Zero series.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly would recommend it if anybody doesn't want to play like OG classic Mega Man. Although Mega Man 11 was flipping amazing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
modern
like,
take on a classic
yeah,
game. Yeah,
but
and that's
to,
why.
but to your point, Mega Man X, when that came out on the Super Nintendo, holy smokes, that was a whole another
Right?
revolution for Mega Man. Like
Right?
that was an amazing game.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun fact.
What?
Mega Man has released over 130 titles in
Wow,
its
seriously?
existence.
Wow.
Over 130 titles.
Yeah, well, I forgot too. You have like Battle Network and everything too. Like they totally switched up genres. They were gonna make an MMO with Mega Man, if I recall. God, like 10 years ago, something like that. They'd Mega Man Legends that was like open world exploration. Which I guess the ZX series is open
Yeah.
world as well. It's just 2D.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just like a series that's gone from just like we're just gonna move to the right hand side of the screen and shoot things, all the way to present day.
Yeah, I think it's probably, I think you have something there, and I do think that it's probably one of the best. It's probably the best platformer of all time.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, it's definitely got its like own like niche, but like yeah, in its own field, it's unbeatable.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree. I would agree.
yeah, definitely. That's like mighty number nine try. So yeah. Okay. So what's your number one?
Oh man.
Can I guess?
So this is tough. Um but I think it comes from an honest place because I have actually played every single game in this franchise.
Okay.
Every
Lord of the
single one.
Rings?
No. I've played a game in the Lord. By the way, before I say my number one, I
Yeah.
am gonna have a little plug in there because the GameCube version of Lord of the Rings, I think Return of the King,
Yeah.
was a fantastic game, and it's still today a fantastic game.
Yeah, all those games. And that was EA too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
They stopped putting it in the game.
Yeah. We're taking it out of the game.
Okay, so my number one, we got off on a
Yeah.
tangent, but my number one is Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Final Fantasy. So growing up, so if anybody remembers this game, this little game called Shining Force, it came out on the um, Sega Genesis, and it was basically a game that introduced me to the RPG genre of games. That game came out in 91. So keep in mind, Final Fantasy debuted in 1987, and I never heard of it until I got introduced to Shining Force. And
Mhm.
so basically, Shining Force has all to do with me getting involved with playing anything Final Fantasy. And so so by that time Final Fantasy IV had already come out, which that game was one of the best Final Fantasies in that era
Mm-hmm.
to come out. And
We're
I
talking
played it.
NES era, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't they skip over? Didn't they just go straight to like Final Fantasy IV for the US release?
So NES was Final Fantasy. They skipped 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is where you're going. They skipped 2. I think 3 was also skipped. It only came out in Japan. It only came out in the Famicom.
Yeah.
Later I got to play it, but Final Fantasy 4. So it was like 1 and then 4
Mm-hmm.
was the releases
In US release.
in the US. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I did subsequently go back and play 2 and 3
Mm-hmm.
later in life when it became you know
Easy.
easier to find. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so basically, we in the U.S. we got 1 and 4. Um,
So why are these your favorite?
so Final Fantasy is, I think that the style of RPG that it brings is like it's RPG elements with RTS style combat in the very beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
so like to me, and some people will say, "Oh, no, that's bad. Why would you say that? That's not right." Um and
Yeah, that's bad.
and they're probably right. But I'll be honest, that's the way that I sort of felt the game was when I got introduced to Final Fantasy. And so but basically, I think one of the best games that ever came out is Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, big
In the
disagree.
90s. No. Hold on. In the 90s, the Final Fantasy series,
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII was the best Final Fantasy game ever to come out because it was the depth of the game, like the PC release, okay? Is 7 discs long.
I do remember that. I had that.
That game is I still have the original upstairs in my office.
Mm-hmm.
That game is one of the, and to still to this day I'll go back and I'll play that game. I bought it again for the Switch.
Yeah. I'm sure you've bought it many times. How many? Probably more times than you bought Skyrim, right?
Uh, yes. Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
and now the Final Fantasy VII remake. And so um they not only had the number series, but then they also had the Crystal Chronicles, which is still one of the best Final Fantasy games ever to be put on a Nintendo system, in my opinion. And that's like the GameCube game, Crystal Chronicles.
Mhm.
That game is just it's amazing.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember it. It was one of those games that like did not. There wasn't a lot. There was like a lot of fanfare because it was like a launch game for GameCube, but like it's nobody I knew played it. It was really strange because it looked really good, but nobody. I think the problem with it was that it needed multiple people. It sounded like, right?
Yeah, so it's very similar to the Divinity series. There were like really playing Divinity or Divine Divinity,
Mm-hmm.
or Divine, what it used to be called. But anyways, playing that game, playing a single player run through of that is just not fun. It's better with multiple people.
Yeah, and I don't have friends. I mean, like you're my friend, but we're very far apart. you know. Okay, so out of all the Final Fantasy series, since you're saying you played all of them, which is like that's like 15 games minimum.
More.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's
So you're
see that's one. Let's see here. There's and don't forget the online ones too. They've had yeah.
whatever.
Stop. So
What's your
14.
favorite?
Okay. So I really like Final Fantasy X.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Final Fantasy X. So I'll give you a story really quick.
Okay.
So Final Fantasy VII I got to play, but Final Fantasy X I didn't get to play until about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I didn't own a PlayStation 2 when that game came out.
Yeah, I get that. I had the same problem.
And so I didn't get to play it when it first came out. And so then when I finally got to play it when the remasters came out, I was like, yeah, this is a game that I wish I played in 2001.
Yeah.
And it's a great game. Like it is. I still don't think it's better than 7 in my eyes. And what I mean by that though is not the I felt like 7 still had the depth and story
Oh,
and
see,
the emotional gravitas that really brought you and drew you into the game. 10 had some elements of that, but I played through 10 and 10 too. And I'll be honest, like I was not married to the characters, or I wasn't really like concerned for the characters. I just really enjoyed playing the game. 7, just like you understood the characters throughout the whole game.
you're also trying. So I think the difference here is that you had to do more with less with Final Fantasy VII, and then when 10 came out, because there's been iterations of technology between the two, and storytelling, because more options are open to you at that point.
Yeah.
That I can see where you're getting that. Because like even like spoiler alert, like people die in Final Fantasy VII. I don't remember anybody really dying in Final Fantasy X until the end when you find out you've been dead the whole time. Which really kind of fucked with me. I like that a lot. That one, Final Fantasy X for me is like the quintessential Final Fantasy experience. Like it was just like that perfect mix of just like old school gameplay, new graphics, good storytelling. It was a story that I could follow from beginning to end, still understand, get to the end and be like, holy shit, that got me, Yeah, I agree.
So let's go ahead and move to your number one top 3 personal franchises of video game history.
You ready for this? Now I need you to put in the music after I say the name, okay? Can you do that for me?
Sure.
Okay. Doom.
Letting it breathe.
Let it breathe. Okay, so
wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you go.
No. What were you gonna ask?
Doom?
What do you mean Doom? Of course, Doom.
All right.
Okay, so like I'm
talk
not.
about why.
Yeah, so like Doom is not my favorite game in the world. However, the modern games have really just fucking blown it out of the water, is what it comes down to.
Doom Eternal is hard as anything.
But that's the beauty of it.
Oh no, I'm not complaining. Sorry. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. But holy smokes, that game is beyond belief.
Right. And so the thing here is that like what's so good about the Doom series, and it's something that's kind of carried through, but then was thrown up to like 1,000% like overkill, starting with like the Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, is that the game was as fast as you are, and the game moved as fast as you could. So like if you watch like old speed runs, just like Doom 1, Doom 2, all the fucking like expansions up until like Doom 3 and all that, and then so on and so forth. Those games are fucking insane. They kind of suck compared to like normal games nowadays because like you couldn't even look around. You know, it's just basically like left, right, forward, back. Hopefully this guy just shoots upwards. Who knows if it's gonna? And there were some ridiculously dumb levels, especially in Doom 2, where it's just like, what the fuck were the developers thinking? Where they give you like literally a pixel to walk on and do a maze on that high up in a skyscraper. However, when we get into the modern day, man, smooth gameplay, you feel like a god. And you just get to the end and you're just like, I have no idea how I got to this point, but everything is dead. And I had a great time the whole damn time, even though I had to do it 15 fucking times. And that to me shows, you know, first of all, you know, they created the genre essentially. They pushed it to the stratosphere. They kind of middle along the way. Doom 3 came. They built lighting technology, tried to bring horror back into the game, and then you know the modern day just turned everything up to 11 and just let you be in charge of everything around you, and it just feels like an extension of your body. And that to me is just like evolution and staying power. And God, what else can they do past this? You know, that's the question. And that's why I think it's my number one.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy to sort of think about how you know, we've come full circle with Doom, you know, being probably outside of, well, you know, anything else that we've talked about, you know, is probably one of the pioneer games of first person shooters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like Wolfenstein came out first, and then
Yeah.
they're just like, you know what, fuck it, we got this, let's just do it. Bam, instant classic.
Yeah, I mean, Wolfenstein was a marvel, but Doom was the holy grail of first person shooters.
Yeah, and it's spread like wildfire.
When you talk about it, right? Like, yeah, right. Like, it was like when you talk about playing that game on MS DOS,
right?
Okay? Like MS DOS. Probably the people who are listening to this they don't even know what DOS is.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But no, but I mean, like it was shareware. It was everywhere. And it was like there was no real ad campaign. It was like, order it here. It's basically free. I remember being at like Alsip Nursery in St. John, Indiana, when I was like a fucking kid. And this is like for plants and farm feed. And I'm at the checkout line and there's a copy of fucking Doom 2 shareware just at the checkout line. I was just like, Mom, we're gonna get this. It was like $3. It played perfectly. I mean, it was something that you never saw. It
was revolutionary. And it was revolutionary in a time, and it came at the right time too, when the internet first started, because that's how you unlock the game, was through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you get the game, it was shareware, and it was a few levels.
I think it was like 3 or 4 levels or something like that. I can't remember. But then you were like, if you want to play the rest of the game, it was like $5 or something like I can't remember. But anyways,
it was nominal fee.
It was very, very inexpensive. But like that game, like literally put id Software on the friggin' map.
Oh yeah. And it's just been so surprising that it's just like throughout, like any franchise, it's got its ups and downs, but I mean, even being bought out, being a part of Bethesda and just continually evolving the game in a way for modern audiences, it's just fantastic. I mean, there's not a lot of games that have done so well that way, or there's actually not a lot of games that even get that chance. So that in and of itself probably speaks more to the franchise power of the of Doom than anything else. But that's why it's number one on my list, narrowly beating out Metroid, but only because there were some big missteps with Metroid. But we'll get on that later.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe we do a Metroid. Metroid/Metroidvania episode. That would be fun.
That'd be fun.
Thanks for listening to our most recent episode of Uneducated Gamers. You can go to Galaxy Game TV to post comments on each of our episodes, or if you have a question or a topic you would like us to include in an episode, feel free to leave a comment. Until next week, we bid you farewell.